Hey, good morning. How you doing, Mizzou fans? Gabe DeArmond here. 11:15 on Monday morning. Didn't really expect to be here with you guys at this time, but there's a little banner flashing across the bottom of your screen. Five-star Florida forward Toni Bryant, a Missouri Tiger, announcing the news at about 8:45 this morning. I'm going to pop Drew King on the screen. There he is. There I am. Just your typical 8:45 a.m. Monday morning news drop, Drew. This is when big news happens. There you go. Yeah, I think it's worthy. And we want to clear this up real quick because we know we've had some people say, but he's not a 5-star. He's a 4-star in the 24/7 rankings. Technically, yes, he is a 4-star. In the composite rankings, he is a 5-star. Dennis Gates now has 2 5-stars in his 2026 class, which is ranked number 1 in the country. Drew, this seems good to me.
It's a pretty good day to be a Mizzou fan, for sure. I think you brought up this is the first time they've ever had 2 top 25 guys. So even if you don't think Toni Bryant's a 5-star, he's still a top 25 guy. I think he's going to be a 5-star by the time it's all said and done. But yeah, like what a way to start the class of 2026, where you get Jason Crow Jr. just in July, a couple months ago. And now you're pairing him with another really highly touted guy who could be a really good pick and roll partner for him. So I think this is about as good as you can do in a recruiting class to start off if you're Mizzou.
No question. And like the Crow thing happened so suddenly, right? It was like, hey, here's who Jason Crow is. And then 2 days later, it was like, wait, we think he's coming to Missouri. The Toni Bryant, this thing's been bubbling for a while. Like when Bryant's name first popped up, I think you and I both had kind of the same like healthy skepticism of like, yeah, that's cool, but like, are we sure? But he scheduled the official visit,
Right.
And I feel like it's been probably 5 months now where most people have been saying, hey, if Missouri's not the leader, like it is right there for Toni Bryant.
Yeah. And I remember a few months ago, we were talking about, just how many official visits he had on the schedule, right? He was going to head to North Carolina and NC State and Kansas and Arizona. Yeah. And he did go to North Carolina, but like he was supposed to go visit NC State this weekend and canceled it to make this commitment. And as we got down the stretch here, it seemed like it was going to be a 2-man race between Mizzou and NC State. And so when people ask me, like, do you think we're getting a commit this weekend? Even I was like, I don't know. He might take that last visit, but yeah, like good on Dennis Gates to get him to wrap this up early, right? I think that's the huge thing is I thought this was going to be a pretty prolonged recruiting process. Even Toni Bryant talked about waiting till the transfer portal to see how teams filled out their rosters, but yeah, they locked him down pretty quick here.
Yeah, and we're up over 100 people at 11:19 on Monday morning. That's awesome. So want to invite you guys, comments and questions and whatever you got. We're not going to be here all morning or anything. We're looking to wrap this thing up in 20, 30 minutes max. But did want to make sure we hop on here with you guys. And the whole timeline thing, like again, kids say it all the time. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. But most kids don't wait. Especially now with the portal, they want to have their spot in November. I actually, this one really started to kind of feel like it could happen over the weekend. Like we're over at the football game and you just kind of started hearing some talk of like, hey man, things seem to be going pretty well. Right. I know that Toni Bryant happened to just be around when Michael Porter Jr. and Tamar Bates and Kobe Brown were there. A lot of people were back in town. And so I think that was a big deal. And then by last night, we were posting on the message board, hey guys, like maybe pay attention to this one because it kind of seems like we could get some movement on this. I don't think either of us expected it this early on Monday morning.
I hadn't brushed my teeth yet when the bat signal went out. I was So yeah,
have you now? This is the
I
important
have
thing.
I have since brushed my teeth. Haven't eaten yet today though. I need
Same. Yeah.
need a good lunch break after this. But no, I think that like it's just a program defining moment, I think, and it's like the ultimate victory lap for Dennis Gates to. I mean, it already was one when they got Jason Crow Jr. and for him to get over that hill and get that first 5-star, but now to get a second one, we're talking about potentially like the best class in program history when you look at the ratings, at least, right? And we'll see how it pans out down the road, but like these are two NBA guys, future NBA guys, in my opinion.
2017 might be tough to catch because in addition to the Porters, Jeremiah Tillman was 42 in the country. The other guys they're recruiting are right around 70 and 75, I think.
Yeah.
So it's possible. Like 4 top 75 players. I think that's probably a top 5 class. Like you're legitimately, if they get Aiden Chronister and Tristan Reed, you are legitimately talking about the kind of classes that outside of Duke and Kentucky, not very many people put together, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 5-stars and 2 4-stars would be a big deal. Could it be number 1 in the country? I don't really know. I don't know enough about who some.
It'll be in the running at least. Like it depends on how the rest of the top 10 shakes out. There aren't a lot of players who've come off the board yet, but it'll, like you said, for sure be top 5. I'll be surprised if it's not top 3. And it could be number 1 depending on where guys go.
And here's what I think the real importance for Dennis Gates is, because Drew, you and I have talked about like the frustration level from fans seems to me to be higher than the product Dennis Gates has put on the court should warrant. Like I think Dennis has done a pretty good job here, not to lead. But like he's made 2 tournaments in 3 years, won the first tournament game in 12 seasons or 13 seasons, whatever it was. But he had that 0-19 sandwiched in, and then Drake happened. Mm-hmm. And I don't think fans were bought in on Dennis in April. I really don't. Like I don't think most people wanted to fire him, but I don't think there were very many people that felt like, hey, this is our guy and we know it. What this allows is this coming basketball season kind of doesn't matter. Like, don't get me wrong. You want to be good. There will be people unhappy if they don't make the tournament and all that. But if they lose round 1, even if they don't make the tournament, what this is going to set up is a whole lot of, but look what's coming. Like, right. It gives him some leeway that he would not have otherwise had.
Well, and in some ways, it probably helped him, not this class, but you look at the 2024 class, right? Like that really helped him with some job stability when he was going through the 0-19 season. Like a lot of people don't make it through a winless conference year and still get to hang around. But because of the job he did recruiting, I think that helped him out. And on top of that, like if he doesn't have the 0-19 season, if he goes 3 and whatever that year, if he has a conference win, I think that a lot more people are bought in on him, even given the Drake loss this year. So like at some point he just got to get over the hill on the court, but off the court recruiting wise, like you can't do better than Dennis Gates is doing right now.
I mean, this is Eli Drinkwitz when he was 17 and 19 after 3 years. And I was one of the ones going, are we sure here? And a lot of the fans were saying, have you seen the guys he's getting? We've never gotten guys like, and they were right. They were right. And my doubts were absolutely unfounded. And I'm not telling you that in 3 years necessarily Dennis Gates has, made a Final Four, won 30 games. I don't know. We have to see. But the recruiting allows him some runway to have a shot to do that maybe didn't exist 3 months ago.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
We've got a question in here, and look, you're better at this than I am.
Okay.
I haven't seen Toni Bryant, honestly, personally play. Somebody's wanting to know the comp for him. Like, do you have an idea here?
So I don't have a great idea because I also haven't really seen him play.
Because he was on the Puma circuit. So, we weren't there.
We weren't there. So what I've been told is Toni Bryant is like in the top 1% of athletes, right? And given his size, I would say maybe like a bigger Thad Young, if that makes any sense. Like he does a lot of things really well. He's got physical tools that you can't coach. The big thing, I guess that's the red flag for him is Adam Finkelstein told me he seems kind of intent to prove he's really skilled, even though he's maybe not there right now, right? So he's trying to do a lot on the ball. He's trying to drive in, jab stat 18 feet from the rim, and that's never going to happen at the college level, at least. And so coming into Mizzou, I think it's going to be beneficial that he's in a more structured system, right? He kind of had free reign to do what he wanted in the AAU. And then to also play alongside somebody like Jason Crow, who is going to be one of the best playmakers he's ever going to play alongside in his career. That's going to help him tremendously. So he averaged, I want to say like 13-5 on the Puma circuit. Like it wasn't very good at all, but if he gets here and sticks to playing to his strengths on offense and then using his physical gifts on defense, like he's going to be a really good player. And I know I called him an NBA guy earlier. I don't know that he's a one and done guy. It might be kind of like a Kobe Brown situation where it takes a little bit for him to find his niche. But I think eventually he'll definitely go play in the league.
And look, if he is a one and done guy, that's great news because it means he figured it out a lot faster than maybe some people think he would. Mark with a nod, Tim Fuller starring in the role he was born to play, and like I want to toe the line here. I do think Tim Fuller deserves credit. Like we've heard a lot of good things about some of the things Missouri basketball is doing behind the scenes, and I think Tim is very fit for this role that he is in. Dennis Gates was in on Toni Bryant well before when Tim Fuller was an assistant at Providence. Like I think this is very much I think that Fuller certainly is helping, but I think this is very much a Dennis Gates recruitment.
Yeah, so I actually want to talk a little bit about Kyle Smith-Peters here, right? Because everybody wants to credit Tim Fuller and Frank Haith, and I think some people were a little panicked when CY, Charlton Young, left this offseason, right? And how that would affect the recruiting. But Eric Bossi talked to Toni Bryant's high school coach today, and the high school coach said that before the rankings, before any five-star advertisement with Toni Bryant, he was just sending clips out to colleges trying to get some attention to him. And the only coach who emailed back was Kyle Smith-Peters. And that weekend, Mizzou staff was on a plane to go see Toni Bryant in person in Tampa and offered him on the spot. So I know that a lot of people are going to get credit here. I just want to make sure that Kyle Smith-Peters is one of those people too, though, because he does a lot on the recruiting front for this team.
Well, and he's the reason Honor Boateng is here, right?
Mm-hmm. Aaron Rowe.
He's the reason Aaron Rowe is here. He's the reason Nicholas Randall is here.
T.O. Barrett, yeah.
Yeah, and CY, like, he was the reason Marcus Allen and Peyton Marshall were here. And like, I liked CY. I'm not trying to make this a crap on CY show or anything like that. But I agree with you that a lot of people panicked when he left, and I don't think he was the recruiting engine for Missouri. I think that was Smith-Peters.
I agree, yeah.
And so, again, the news, if you have no idea why me and Drew are hanging out on YouTube, Toni Bryant has committed to Mizzou. They currently have the #1 recruiting class in the country. And Drew, it seems like a good time for Missouri fans right now. I mean, they beat Kansas and they got a 5-star, and this would seem to rank up there with some of the better weekends that you folks have had in the last few years.
Well, and speaking of timing, like I think that getting a player at this position specifically was really important for Mizzou, because you look at who's got eligibility left after this year. Mark Mitchell's gone. Jacob Cruz is gone. Javon Porter is gone. Those guys are heading into their last year of eligibility. And the only forward you really have left is Nick Randall. And we're not sure like when he's going to be ready for college. So I think that getting somebody like Tony Randall to build out the depth a little bit, even if they go into the transfer portal and find somebody to take the starters minutes, like having Toni Bryant's going to be really important going into next year.
No question. T-Mac did bring up in the chat, CY had a lot to do with Ant Robinson. So yeah, deserves credit for that. Jason's wanting to know signing day. It's in November. I don't know the exact day, but it's first or second week in November. And look, I would fully, like, things happen, but I would fully expect both Crow and Bryant. Like, I don't think there's a lot of concern that Jason Crow's not looking around. He's going to be in town next weekend. And
he's coming to town like 4 times. He's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, and his social media is all Mizzou. Toni Bryant visited North Carolina last weekend, was supposed to be at NC State next weekend, was supposed to be at Kansas in November. I would imagine none of those are happening. I think he fully shuts it down. And here's what I love about recruiting. Devin just wants to know who's next, man. All right, cool. We got the second 5-star. It's been an hour and a half. Who's next? But in all seriousness, I have messages out to both Tristan Reed and Aiden Chronister this morning asking kind of like, hey, did this help Missouri? Like, what's this do with your recruitment? I don't honestly expect either one of them to answer me, but Aiden Chronister visits in, 12 days?
Yeah.
Drew, I'd be a little bit surprised if there's not news on that front the week after that visit.
I 100% agree. He's going to be here the same weekend as Jason Crow, so he'll have somebody in his ear during the visit. I think that you look at Aiden Chronister's list of visits right now, it's Wake Forest, Oklahoma State, St. Louis, and Arkansas State. Those are the 4 schools that they're in competition with. And given today's news, I think it'd be pretty hard to turn down a spot on next year's roster, considering.
Right. And things are weird. Like, I don't want to call the visit a formality, but I think we go into that visit thinking that chances are significantly better than 50-50 that Missouri gets Chronister.
Well, and just one more note on Chronister. I know, like, a couple weeks ago we talked about, is he a take? And then last week there's a picture out where the whole staff is there visiting him at his high school. So I think he's a take for sure.
Yeah, and I think that might have changed a little bit when Ethan Taylor eliminated Missouri, because, like, they weren't going to take 5 high school kids. So there maybe were going to be some decisions to make. I think Ethan Taylor made the decision. Mark says as November 12th to 19th is the signing period. So I would think November 12th, I don't know what day of the week that is, but I would think both those guys that will sign then. So let's finish it up. Tristan Reed. Like, we thought Missouri was either at the top or in the lead for quite a while, but he is still, he's got a Michigan State visit now. He's supposed to visit Ohio State next weekend. He's now talking about a Maryland visit. So it hasn't happened yet. So what do we make of this?
So if you had asked me probably a month ago, I would have felt significantly more confident about Tristan Reed, especially once Ethan Taylor dropped out. But given the recent addition of Michigan State in the picture, makes me a tiny bit nervous, right? It makes it less of a I don't want to say lock, but it's a significant challenge, right? To beat out Michigan State, to beat out Tom Izzo.
If you're Missouri, you'd like this thing wrapped up before he goes to East Lansing, I think.
Right.
And we'll see if that happens or not. But
there's no guarantee.
I think, Drew, and tell me if you don't agree. I think if they don't get Tristan Reed, they add Chronister, it's a 3-man class, and you hit the portal. Like, I don't really think you necessarily go replace him with another high school guy.
I would agree with that, because I already wrote a whole column about, I don't think recruiting 4 stars is really all that worth it. But I do see some value in getting Tristan Reed. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world if you miss out on him.
Yeah, I do see some value in getting 2 5-stars in a class. I think that's good.
Yes.
So, guys, look, we just wanted to hop on here with you. We hit 200 people. Don't any of you people have jobs, man? What's happening? We appreciate you being here. Whole lot of bosses getting mad at us. So, look, the YouTube channel seriously has, like, the last week was the biggest week we've had on here. crazy number of views and new subscribers and all that. So we appreciate that. If you can like the video and subscribe to the channel and just share what we're doing, it really does. The more people that watch, the more people that it gets fed to by our technological overlords. So we like that. More people need to hear from us. That's how it works. So appreciate you guys doing that, and do have to pitch that today is the last day. You've got about 11 hours left. We got 60% off your first year of a subscription. Drew had the story up on Toni Bryant. He's actually had 2. We've got a story from Eric Voss. He talked to Toni. Adam Finkelstein has a scouting report. Cody Goodwin went back and looked at 41 things he learned from MUKU. My 10 thoughts are up. Like it's a crazy day over there. So we hope you guys check it out. It's 60% off for another 9-10 hours. So get over there, do that. Cody and I will be back here live at 7:00 tonight talking football. Drew, before you go eat, do you have anything else you'd like to share with the people?
I gotta come see you and grab my Yingling, but that's all.
Well, I will be around this afternoon, so it is here. You can come pick it up. Maybe have one early, because I think your workday is mostly over by noon. So I say that. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right. Appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll talk to you next time.